G'day there, once again viewers, this is your mate Kamikaze78 here, coming to you guys with some more Planetside 2 content. Today guys, it is that time once again where we take another collective stab at my sanity with the Time to Gear Up series. The series where you guys take the reins and control the shenanigans. Now, how does this all happen, I hear you asking? Well, all you need to do is drop a loadout in the comment section down below that you guys would like to see me use in-game, whether it be as sweaty as the Counter-Strike Pro Leagues or as derpy as a casual Rocket League match on a Saturday night, and well, the highest rated loadout of the bunch will be featured in the next episode, keeping in mind that we do not use loadouts that are too heavily dependent on exceptional implants or ASP perks, especially on factions other than the New Conglomerate. But anyway, today we are returning to my home turf, rocking the blue and yellow, as one of the cheekiest New Conglomerate infiltrators I think I've ever played on this series, a loadout called the Ghost of Indar, which comes to us from Pathorn 9. Let's see exactly what's under the hood here. As I'm sure you guys have noticed by this point, we are here with what can only be described as a distinct lack of primary weapon, which can only mean one of two things. This is a cruel loadout on a class like a heavy assault or a light assault or whatever have you, or this is a stalker cloaking infiltrator loadout, and surprise, 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 we have our answer. So yes, we are lacking a primary weapon here, but we do have ourselves the Hunter Qcx Crossbow as the weapon of choice. Being real with you all, it has been a while since this weapon has graced its presence on one of my loadouts, even longer since I ran it with the default ammunition type and used it as an actual, well, crossbow. So it was fun to make a return to this arguably niche weapon, that's for sure. No attachment options were specified in the comment by Pathorn, but I did take the liberty to attach a laser sight to assist with those frantic hipfire shots, and also a 2x reflex sight to improve the accuracy at slightly longer ranges, which, might I add, did score me a couple of kills on injured targets. But, full transparency guys, the crossbow is not the main party piece of this loadout in the world of inflicting the owies on your enemies. No. We are rocking the Carver here as well, the power knife available to the New Conglomerate. Vanu Sovereignty and TR players, if you wish to follow along, then your equivalents are the Lamine Edge and the Ripper respectively. So yeah, this is essentially another take on the whole cloaky stabby loadout that you will see the cheekiest of Auraxians running around with in-game. In the suit slot we are running the adrenaline pump because, well, people running away from our knife is just simply not on. Sneaky boys also need to be the fastest of boys. So being able to slowly chase down people with that speed boost goes a long way in a pinch. We are also running the recon detect device because I'm sure futuristic samurais, you know, would be all about getting as much intel as they can. It makes the most amount of sense to me. As for the grenades, oh for God's sake, who am I kidding? Samurais don't use grenades, no. The NSX Fusion throwing knives are back on the loadout once again here, and being honest, I think I've seen more of these in this series than grenades in the past few episodes, and that's saying something. Y'all just seem to love your throwing knives. It's a bit of an addiction, guys, you might want to get that checked. The utility slot and implants left me with some freedom of choosing between two options for each. Implant-wise, I was able to either run Deep Operative and Sensor Shield, or Vampire and Carapace, and utility-wise, I was allowed to run either proximity mines or medkits. Now, admittingly, there is going to be a bit of variation in the footage you guys are watching here as I kept working out what would work best for the build, but in the end, I found myself gravitating towards the Deep Operative and Sensor Shield combo with a proximity mine to boot. Now, admittingly, that may not make a bunch of sense right here, right now, because I know there's some actual knifey boys in this comment section who are gonna be going, no, hang on, why'd you make that choice? I will explain my reasoning shortly, guys. Anyway, cost-wise, assuming you want to join me in my spiral into sanity, then it's going to run you a total that ranges anywhere between 2,230 certs all the way up to 5,540 certs. Quite a large price disparity, but that mainly comes from the fact that a lot of the stuff featured in this loadout is free to start with and costs a bit to upgrade to max rank. Just something to think about. Once again, keeping in mind, guys, that the costs do not reflect implant grinds. But anyway, old Mate Pathorn had a little bit more to say in regards to how this loadout was going to be used and what I should be aiming to accomplish here while playing it. Not gonna lie, this is actually a pretty effective knifing loadout out of the gate. But then of course there's always the additional playstyle you guys want to tack onto it as well, and that's where things get complicated. But Thorn states, inspired from the game Ghost of Tsushima, this loadout is designed to strike enemies when their guards are down, like when after a base has been captured, or at player-made bases, or even sniper nests. Your targets are lone enemy soldiers or unsuspecting enemy snipers. Do not engage multiple enemies at once, and find somewhere to hide after finishing off your enemies to avoid detections. Use crossbows and throwing knives when trying to finish off enemies at mid-range, and also to give you that ghost feel when doing so. When fighting heavy assaults, I suggest that you throw the NSX Fusion at them first before knifing them like in Ghost of Tsushima. So yeah, in case it wasn't clear enough by the title and the description that Thorn just gave us, this is a Ghost of Tsushima inspired loadout, and not gonna lie, it was a good deal of fun to play for the most part, the keyword there being most, because I cannot count on my 2 hands or feet the amount of times I felt like I needed to sacrifice the nearest available goat to get the melee hit detection in this game to work with me and not against me. There were times where everything went off without a hitch, and then there were times where I identified my target, singled him out for a clean kill where no one else would be watching and there'd be no witnesses, and my character would simply start caressing the enemy's back as though I'm giving him an edgy as fuck, somewhat confidence-inducing back massage. Seriously, part of me wishes that I was streaming my session while I was recording the gameplay for this video, because there were some A-grade fails here that often resulted in just sheer panic on my behalf. It really reminded me that yes, I am in fact a man who is playing on a server located halfway across the world from me. But like all good honourable samurai, I stayed on course and sought out to complete my mission, killing the targets of opportunity with great precision. And when things panned out, boy did it pan out right. On multiple occasions, I would spot my target with lowered shields and snipe him out with a crossbow, and then move on to a nearby comrade with the throwing knives, only to seal the deal with a cheeky knife attack on an opponent. This loadout really challenged me to engage selectively and somewhat discriminately, showing restraint for the scenarios where I knew I could maybe land or kill or two, but would then almost instantly be murdered afterwards. It's honestly a skill that I let fall by the wayside a lot in general gameplay, and this loadout was a solid reminder as to how important showing restraint can be, so I thank Thorn for reminding me of that. However, this being Planetside 2, there was rarely a situation where I was able to kill a target and not draw attention to myself. There were also times where I did play a little bit more aggressively than I should have. The intro clip is a solid example of that. But with that said, the use of the adrenaline pump helped me to not only close the gap on opponents a little more efficiently, but also let me quickly zip into cover and hide if I was detected. For me, I wasn't able to avoid detection per se on the battlefield, because every engagement I got into, there were a lot of situationally aware targets, but more or less escape instead after being detected. It gave me the ability to restart an engagement on my own terms, which is where we come to the implants section of the video. Most cloakers I know who are running with the intent of being a stabby boy will often run the vampire and carapace combo because it gives them the ability to constantly refresh their health pools as they go on murderous rampages. Which, now that I think about it, kind of sounds like the logic that goes into those murderous horror movies. You get a kill and you heal up. Wait, was Michael Myers running vampire and carapace? But this loadout didn't challenge me to run into rooms of foes and start swinging indiscriminately. It challenged me to be surgical, planned, methodical, all stuff that I am not normally doing. So, I opted for the additional stealth implants to ensure that any pesky motion spotters didn't pick me up and ruined my chance at snagging the once unsuspecting sniper. And I think it worked out a lot better for me in the long run as a result, because I was testing the loadout out with Vampire and with Carapace, and yeah, it didn't work very well when I was trying to be selective as possible, especially if I took a little bit of, scraping damage, if you will. There's no denying, guys, that there were moments here where I was simply acting as a hunter, and I hope that the footage and the gameplay style I adopted while playing this loadout is going to be good enough for Good Thorn 9. There are going to be some clips in here that probably don't quite match what he was looking for, but look, in the context of Planetside 2 and the craziness that happens here, I hope I was able to satisfy to a certain extent. And guys, with all that said, that does conclude today's episode of the Time to Gear Up series. If you guys enjoyed enjoyed this video, if you're enjoying the series, make sure you let me know in the comment section down below and like the video. Liking the video is a great indicator of how often I should be doing these videos and how much time I should be investing into doing them regularly, so it goes a long way, guys. If you guys enjoyed the video and you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button, where we continue to do more Planetside 2 based content and other content as well as time goes on. And as always, guys, social media links are linked in the description down below, where you can come join us on Discord, Twitch and Twitter and continue conversations and just, join the community there as well. Once again, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Peace out, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Take care, guys. Have a good one.